and so that means Pierru's making the switch off that Songhai deck. If I was to offer a little bit of criticism, I know it's called Spell High, but you do need some minions to play your stuff on.
Yeah, I mean, it's tricky. It's hard to know how to build that. I'm pretty surprised by this switch because I thought that the Spell High deck would be about taking advantage of these slow Magmar decks, but Pierru thinks that they have a better chance with. And I can see that because their Magmar is a little bit greedier. Oh man.
Yeah, this is tough. I don't think it's bad to just flash out the Spirit Harvester and start dealing with the egg. It's going to eventually cut down that Silthar Router to size. Human's not boned. Like, this opening would win a lot of games, the Flash Silthar Router. I don't think it's going to win this one, though.
Yeah, this is hilarious. But yeah, the Harvester is absolutely just going to take care of this Elder, and Pierru has basically no way of dealing with the Harvester as long as humans place it far away. So Pierru's surprisingly in a really bad spot here because they spent their whole turn and 2 flashes in Elder. A lot of their late game plan was probably going to be, I have more big minions than you. So they're top decking. They're down in Elder. They're down 2 flashes, and they have no way of dealing with this Harvester that's eventually going to take out the Elder. So that's rough. Though, this is so Pierru runs 2 Shrouds, and that's one of the only ways that Pierru wins this, right? Because if Pierru runs forward and shrouds the Harvester, then suddenly he has an active Elder, and humans is pretty screwed. So I'm really surprised that humans played this in Shroud range.
Yeah, maybe they're thinking too much about Dancing Blades. Like, you can... And I've sort of mentioned this before, like, when you have a Spirit Harvester in the corner, it can actually be a bit annoying, but not as annoying as your opponent having an active Silthar Router. You need to get rid of that. Priority number 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, I mean, I think that humans can... he can count and know exactly how far away he has to play his Harvester to be safe against Shroud. And Pierru doesn't have it, and so...
Lucky.
That's really rough. That's unfortunate. I mean, it kind of makes sense because, of course, Pierru's top decking, right? Turn 1 was Flash Elder. They have 2 random cards in their hand. They get 1 replace. It's not so likely that they're going to get a Shroud, but it's just, if they do, it's a disaster for humans. So.
Yeah, they're thinking about replacing this Twin Fang. I guess they're just going to ramp the Archon out, but Twin Fang wouldn't be bad either.
It's a tricky turn for humans. Humans has a lot of options. They could try playing the Archon. They could Mechant or something for unclear reasons. Twin Fang is really good in the mirror because it's just really hard for Magmar to deal with artifacts. And I mean, Pierru isn't running West College or anything. So, but also humans could totally just pass here, right? They could just run the Harvester away from Shroud range and then just hit end turn, playing literally 0 cards. That would be a totally legitimate choice.
Yeah, they decided to just immediately deal with this Elder because Pierru could very easily just have an Egg-Morph. So just make sure it's gone forever. You don't want to deal with it again.
Yeah, it can be scary. I mean, so Egg-Morph alone might not do it for you because, I mean, as long as you have a Harvester on board, like, eventually that's going to clear the Elder Swarm. But it could be like Egg-Morph, Flash, Vindicator to clear it, something like this. There are a lot of things that could go wrong. Or maybe like a Flash Mechanter can reach it. So humans just playing it safe here, saying, I have sort of enough an advantage at this point that I don't need to take chances. And that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I quite agree. Because initially it sort of looks like your Harvest is going to deal it anyway, but if you think you're, maybe this is a bit of ego, but if you think you're a good player, like you play safe when you can. If you think you're better than your opponent.
Yeah, I mean, humans, like, I talk to him pretty regularly. He is a really nice and humble guy, but I mean, certainly I think that he is the favorite in this, right? He's sort of a very well known duelist player for good reason. But it's also a function of the situation in this match, right? In this match, humans is already pretty far ahead, so it's unnecessary for him to risk his harvester getting cleared, not trying another one, and then just losing to a swarm of elders. Though even then, it's not over if Pierru starts building up a big swarm, because there's always the possibility of meta flash harvester from humans, and that just instantly clears an entire swarm of elders.
Yeah, I don't know if we've talked about that much on the end of the cast, but meta flash harvester is, what is it, like 8 mana, clear any enemy board?
Yeah, exactly. It's really, and you're left with a 5/3 harvester, right? So,
yeah,
that's really good. Yeah,
and it's like not that ridiculous combo to draw. Like in 2-draw, you can be pretty consistent.
Yeah. Also, because this matchup obviously is very slow, right? Players neither player is under any pressure basically. They know that this is going to be really important, right? Especially if their opponent is playing elders, they can work towards that, right? And I think that you can sort of see humans doing that, right? They've sort of, yeah, there we go, yeah, right? They had the flash harvester in hand, and they're going to hold on to it. They're running 3 metas, so they're absolutely aware of the fact that those 3 cards in combination are extremely valuable in this matchup, and that they're forced to have really efficient turns, so they can have a clunky hand and just get it. And at some point it becomes even surprising if they don't have it.
Yeah, definitely. Like if your opponent hasn't cast them and it's like a 9 mana, 10 turns in the game, like you should expect that. It looks like Pierre is just going to move away from this Archon and Spirit Harvester and just develop just a single card, Dancing Blades, and going to draw back up to 5. So trying to catch up with humans in card in hand.
Yeah, it's tricky. So Pierru at this point is probably thinking about how they're going to win the game, because in terms of like the real serious threats in their decks, they have 2 Elders, and then they don't have any Archons. Dancing Blades is the next biggest thing. So, how are you actually going to win? And I think playing this Dancing Blades is maybe saying to humans, like if you get close, then maybe I'll punch you in the face before. But honestly, I'm not sure how Pierru's going to win at this point. It looks really, really bad for them. I think that it's a big win that humans played a meta there, because they didn't really have to. They could have just waited. And the one thing that they absolutely need a meta for is for the second Elder, right? As long as they get the second Elder, they're absolutely no problem. So
yeah, exactly. They got the Spirit Harvester on board already, so that like just immediately killed whatever they metamorphosed, and they had the second copy in hand. So, given what they had like as their possible alternatives, I think this is pretty reasonable to just deal with your rebirth minion, deal with your 4/6 that can be a little troublesome to deal with, and you still have the second copy in hand. Like I say, you've already dealt with one of those elders, and as long as you hold on to this second one, you should be fine.
I mean, I think it's still because Pierru's in such a difficult situation, like like some special things are gonna have to happen for them to win this game, and baiting out a meta presents really good progress towards a way to win. Because here, right, it's like, if humans didn't have this Vindicator, probably they would just leave the enemy Vindicator up, but it's somehow Pierru is going to have to find a way for the Elder to stick, and getting one of the 2 remaining metas out is is important for that.
Sure. It's good. It doesn't feel like it's critical given this hand, but I'm not disagreeing with you.
Yeah, it's really hard to think about because it's like, I mean, everything is probably fine for humans and unlikely to work for Pierru, right? But
right.
so it's sort of like everything has it's comparing like single digit percentage numbers. It's like, okay, which single digit percentage number is bigger? Humans found a really nice way to clear that vindicator, realizing that this tracer is not going to be super important. And so if they can find a way to get value out of that card that would otherwise be difficult to get value out of, that's important.
Yeah, I like that turn they did. I wasn't even really thinking about how good that would be, but yeah, like you said, this tracer's just get it on board and get 2 damage on a critical minion, so your harvester clears it up. It's pretty nice. I'm not sure. If I was humans, I'd probably be looking at suiciding my harvester in soon enough. Like, he's almost killed his own Archon before it's even got an attack up.
Yeah, I mean, this is just like one of those really interesting, like, long strategic games of Duelyst, where it's like you have to think of a deck versus deck long-term game plan. Humans could try and find a way to get their harvester killed and then like start pushing threats, but I think they could also adopt a completely different strategy of just leave the harvester on board and say, you can't win as long as I have a harvester on board. And then one day, humans is going to equip a Twin Fang. Pierru realistically is going to have an extremely difficult time clearing a Twin Fang. Humans is going to get a 25 attack general, is going to walk up and just punch Pierru in the face and win. So, like, it's really hard because you have to plan out how you want the game to go on the scale of like 10, 20 turns and go and work towards that game plan. And it's really not clear what the best thing to do is. Like this, for example, I have no idea what humans do. Why is humans punching with this tracer? I don't. Does he think the 2 damage is going to be relevant? So, I mean, I'm excited to see what humans has in mind here.
Yeah, I'd quite like this play if the young Silthar was dead, like the classic box-in maneuver. But Pierru's going to be able to free himself pretty easily. Maybe he's just happy to restrict Vath's movement and say, hey, stay in the corner while I wait and draw my Twin Fang, which, they have just done.
Yep, I mean, Twin Fang is a lot better if you have minions on board. And, because then you get a lot of attack pretty quickly. And once you have enough attack that basically nothing can reasonably trade into you, then it becomes really difficult to deal with. But humans had the option of not punching with the tracer and having it be a 2/6. I think that probably the difference is that Pierru is playing Plasma Storm, and the tracer's going to die one way or the other, so might as well get in the 2 damage, even though it's. Oh, that's another good reason. Wow, I didn't even think of that. Good job, humans. You're a pro. Now, of course, if Pierru is going to steal the tracer, then you would rather they steal a 2/4 than a 2/6, right? The 2/4 is Mechantrable.
Yeah, what do you think humans is going to hit back with? Because you probably don't want to do that flash Spirit Harvester meta because you need it for other stuff. Maybe this Mechantor isn't all that amazing. I think I might just go with the Mechantor though.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Mechantor isn't really going to do that much overall. So using it here makes a ton of sense. To some extent, humans has to play something, right? Because they don't want to just sit around with this, like with the same hand. There are ways their hand could improve. They don't want to use meta flash or harvester because they need it for Elder. They, so they don't want to use the Twin Fang because the Twin Fang is probably how they're going to win the game. replacing Mogwai makes a lot of sense because that's something they can draw later once they have a huge Twin Fang, and they needed a Vindicator for it anyway. So,
and now I like this turn because you've got the spare Harvester because you want like one to combo with the Metamorphosis, but now this bonus one is just pretty sweet to play and clear most of the board here.
Yeah, I mean it's a difficult balancing act because again, one way that Pierru can try and win this game is they have a certain number of cards that they have to get through before they can win realistically. And Harvester is one of them. So, if you can find a way to clear the Harvesters and like bait humans into playing a second Harvester somehow, that's like one possibility. It's going to be really hard to do that. I don't know how Pierru's going to do that. But it is possible. And Pierru is running 3 Eggmorph, and on 9 mana you can do Eggmorph Harvester, which is sort of against a single target. It's just a better version of Meta Flash Harvester. So that's something that we could see Pierru do here, and it makes a lot of sense because otherwise, this Harvester isn't really going to be doing much against humans' deck.
Yeah, better, and it takes fewer cards, so it's sort of more reliable to do. Whereas you need a 3-card combo to pull off the Flash Harvest meta.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's so Pierru unfortunately didn't have an Eggmorph here. But still choosing to kill the Harvester and make progress towards getting rid of humans' key answers so that maybe Pierru can have an opening to play the second
Humans has a really nice Mercanto here. I'm surprised he's replacing that 2-drop because I'd play the 2-drop and then use that to can you do that to position the Mercanto? Yeah, you can. So
yeah, I think the idea here is that the 4 face damage really doesn't matter,
right?
And staying far away has some value because you have this Mogwai and you have a second Tracer in your deck, and you're just going to hit them for 25. Sort of the better positioning is maybe the more relevant thing. Also, it's harder for Pierru to clear the Mercantor here, and an onboard Mercantor restricts your positioning, right? You don't want to play stuff into Frenzy.
Yeah, and if you look at Pierru's deck list, they really don't have a good way of like taking off a Twin Fang in one go. They can like do it over a couple of turns with Mercantor and then a Vindicator, and then but doing 3 instances of damage in one turn from across the map is pretty much impossible.
Yeah, that's why it's such a big deal that Pierru played the Vindicator last turn instead of being able to do something like Eggmorph Harvester, because Vindicator is one of the few ways that Pierru has of making good progress towards clearing an artifact. Now, unfortunately, I lost track. I mean, Pierru's definitely played 2 Vindicators. I don't remember if he's played the 3rd.
Yeah, I don't think he has, but I lose track of the numbers all the time when casting. There's too much going on with it.
Yeah, so I mean, if Pierru's out of Vindicators here, then this Twin Fang. I mean, the Twin Fang's already very difficult to deal with, but yeah, it's so this is nice by Pierru because this is a board that is really going to tempt you into doing the Meta Flash Harvester thing. So finding a good opportunity to put pressure on humans is, key answer, and then maybe this is going to give Pierru an opportunity to slam his Elder. This is tough. I don't know what humans is going to do here.
Yeah, if I was humans and I had a Tracer in hand or a Vindicator to power this Mogwai, I'd probably feel pretty good about just walking up and hitting the Spirit Harvester and then playing my own Vindicator, because I think I can probably kill them next turn. But without that being in hand, you've got to gamble on what they're going to do, and you don't want to lose that Harvester out the combo when you are going to need it later.
I mean, I think that if this Rejuve were a Vindicator, I think that's lethal. But if it's a Tracer, I think Pierru lives at 3? Yeah, I don't see any other way to get a damage proc. Wow, okay, so humans did feel pressured into using the meta Flash Harvester. So suddenly, I mean, Pierru's done an amazing job here. Suddenly, this is a game again. Because now, Pierru can clear the Harvester and then play his Elder. And then now there's like a clear path to victory. Whereas before, there was none. He still is in a lot of trouble because of this Twin Fang. He could die at any moment. But yeah, this is huge progress for Pierru. Pierru has sort of found a way out of a really dire situation.
Yeah, just put enough stuff on board that, you're threatening to kill him and clear this Twin Fang. That's obviously important to Human's game plan. And yeah, with only 18 cards left in deck and 4 in hand, there's a pretty good chance he's got this second Elder, and Humans doesn't have a way to deal with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because this is one of the few moments in the match where having something right now is really critical. Normally you have tons of time to find it, but Pierru is in the situation where he really wants to clear this Harvester and then play his Elder ASAP. Because if you give Humans too much time, they're just going to kill you with the Twin Fang. So, it's also difficult for Pierru because Pierru had no idea at what point in the match would he be able to clear room for the Elder. He does have it. So I think there's a very good chance. Oh no! There's a very good chance that he would have just replaced an Elder and said, okay, I'll find it when I need it, and then but he happened to have it then.
It's still slightly tough for Humans to walk up because he could draw a Silhouette Tracer at any point, and if he walks up where Vath and this Elder can hit him, he's risking losing his big Twin Fang. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, it's kind of terrifying as Pierru to sort of face tank. I mean, here it's going to be too much damage, right? It's going to be more health than you have because the Harvester is going to give you some extra procs here. But yeah, it's if it weren't for that, then I think that's maybe what you do here because Humans otherwise doesn't have a ton of bursts.
Yeah, I like walking away and being patient because he needs to draw either a Silhouette Tracer or what he has drawn, a Vindicator here. Could just give him the game.
Yeah, so Pierru crucially didn't do the step of this plan that involves clearing the onboard Harvester. And your Elder can't get started as long as there's an onboard Harvester. So I think Pierru, said, oh, I'm going to play the Elder now because time is of the essence, and I'm just really going to hope that next turn I top deck the answer I need to this Harvester, and I mean, okay, I'll lose 1 egg and have an 8/6, no big deal, I just need to be fast. But yeah, it's it looks like it's not quite gonna work out here. Humans drew the final piece that he needed just in time, and now he's gonna be able to Vindicator out this Mogwai and win. But it was really close. I'm really, really impressed by how Pierru, had such a. I mean, it sounds silly to say that turn 1 Elder is a bad start, but yeah, I mean, it was sort of a disaster this game, and then the whole match was him trying to recover from that turn 1 setback, and I thought it was going to be like basically impossible, and Pierru almost made it. I think that's extremely, extremely impressive.